It's easier than you think to make your own cards. In today's video, we're creating 2 really easy watercolour Valentine's cards. Anyone can paint, even if you're a beginner. Let's get started. First of all, get a scrap piece of paper, ideally a thick piece of paper. Fold it in half. You don't have to be too neat, by the way, just fold it in half. It doesn't matter if there's any creases or anything. Get a pen. I've used a micron pen for some reason, but you could use a pencil or pencil crayon, anything. Draw half a heart. You don't need to draw a full one. Draw half a heart. Get a decent pair of scissors. Cut that out. If you are under 18, please be careful. Don't cut yourself. If you are over 18, please be careful. Don't cut yourself. Whatever age you are, whoever you are, please be careful. Okay, so do not throw this heart away. We are going to make use of this as well. Put it to one side. And then you've got a perfect heart outline. Perfect. So get your card or your piece of paper or whatever you want this to go on to. And then I'm just getting some masking tape. Oh, by the way, I've split this into 3 sections because I'm going to do 3 ideas for you. Get your masking tape and just stick that where you would like it to go on the edges of the paper because we need that centre of the heart. So stick some masking tape down. I'm hoping this works. I did sort of roughly test it. I'm just a bit conscious that a little bit of paint and water might go underneath the heart, but it will work. Choose your colours, choose your paints. I'm just using Shinhan PWC paints. Also, this heart, do not throw this away. We will use that for one of these little heart projects as well, so do keep that. So all we're going to do, first of all, I'm just using a small brush just to wet the area of the heart shape. Try not to go underneath the heart because if we do that, we won't get this nice clean heart shape. And then when you've decided on a colour, I've just chosen this opera bright pink, absolutely gorgeous colour, and then just pop it onto your where you've wet the area. And just pop little bits on. It doesn't need to be loads, just a little bit, just to add on a little bit of a background colour. And you get these gorgeous little bleeds and blooms on the heart shape. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm just being careful around this bit where there's a tiny gap. So if you need to, just use your finger just to hold it down a little bit. And then I decided I'm going to add a bit more colour. Entirely up to you how you want to do this. I'm just giving you an idea of what you could do with a Valentine's card. If you do get stuck with folding watercolour paper, sometimes because of the thickness of it, when you fold it, it can be a little bit tricky. So I have got a previous video where I show you how you can fold watercolour paper if you want to use that to make that into a card. I'll leave that in the description box for you. And I've also got another link where I've made some other cards as well. So again, everything will be in the description box for you. Whilst I'm waiting for that one to dry, I'm going to draw a heart shape here. And then I'm going to do like a squiggly line here. That's going to be the string. And then I'm going to give it a little bow to make it look like we've tied it. And it's just going to be a heart-shaped balloon. And then I'm just going to add some water to this and then literally just paint it with the brightest of reds that I have got. This is quinacridone red from the Shinhan PWC colours, but use whatever you've got. And you can also do this with pencils, watercolour pencils or crayons if you've got them, or oils. You don't have to stick with watercolour. You can do this with what you've got. Just literally paint that nice and neatly. Paint the whole thing. Don't worry about keeping a little bit of a white space. We're going to come back to that once that's dried as well. By the way, I'm Shahnaz. Hello, hi, thank you so much for being here. This is Bloom Art by SW, and I really appreciate everything that you've done. If you've liked, shared, or commented, I am also on TikTok and Instagram as well. I'm at Bloom Art by SW if you wanted to get in touch with me. Okay, let's check if this is dried. It is still a tiny bit damp. It's because the weather's awful here in the UK. It's all damp and horrible. No problem, just dab it. It is still a tiny bit damp, but we can still work with that. So what I'm doing now here is I'm not being neat at all, by the way. And all I'm literally doing is just using the dampness and just creating little petals or shapes that resemble little petals. You can skip this step if you want, or you can keep it on. I think keep it on because it will make the final effect look really, really nice because you've built up the layers and it gives it sort of a really nice overall finish. You'll see what I mean at the end. So I would carry on with this step and don't worry about it being too damp. I'm using the same colour that I've just used to colour in that balloon. It's quinacridone red, but it's really heavily watered down. So we don't want it too bright just yet. When you have done that, I would leave it to dry completely. The light in this room is not great, so I'm probably not going to be able to carry on. So I am going to leave it overnight and come back to it the next day. So see you in a minute, but really it's the next day for me. So I'm back. It's the next day for me, but a few seconds for you. So I'm using that same quinacridone red. And the same as we did in our tree flower floral design, we're just going to pop a few dots down. I've gone with 4 or 5 dots. I like 5 dots, which equals 5 petals. That seems to be a good number. Not too many, not too small. And then I'm just using some water to pull the petals out. And then any mistakes you've made underneath, nobody will ever know because we're putting on some darker colour on top of the light wash and the light petals that we did earlier, but it gives it depth. It gives the heart, the flowers, and the overall picture, it just gives it depth. Any second now you will see the final result. It's going to be brilliant. So I'm not sure if I've made this better or worse, but I changed the lighting because it is so dark in the UK at the minute. So I've tried to keep it as natural lighting as possible, and I hope you can still see as clearly as I can. But I'm sorry about the shadows, but I really, really just wanted to show you how easy this is that you can do. So once you've worked your way around and you've added the flowers that you want, you can do as many or as little as you would like. And then once you finish that off, I did decide to just add in a few small leaves, a little bit of greenery, just very similar to the Christmas tree that we did as well, just to give it not just have it all in one colour or different shades of one colour. And I think it does look a little bit nicer with a touch of green. Once you're happy with where you've got the leaves, you can either leave that to dry again or just dab the excess off because we need to add the centre of the petals in. I don't want them to bleed too much into the petal. So I'm just going to grab some sepia. You can grab anything that's like a darker colour to what you've got already, and we're just going to add in a tiny bit to the centres. So when the centre of the petals are done, leave that to dry. I'm going to go back to the other one now, and I've got some white paint. So I've got like a marker pen, which is white, and we're going to add on those little bits of highlight onto this balloon. So very carefully, not too much, just add on where the balloon might catch the light, might be in the sunshine, imagine it in the sky, or if it's in your room where it's going to catch the light, we're just going to do that. And then with a waterproof pen, I'm just going to add on the words LOVE, love, into the centre of the balloon. And then what I thought was you could just add a little bit of a background. This is really simple, nothing too strenuous, so anyone can do this. I'm sure you can do this, and just keep it really simple and just add on a bit of blue, any sort of blue, but very, very light, and just have that blend into the background like so. So I have some shimmer paints. I love my shimmer paints. They're unbranded. They're not from any particular brand. But if you've got anything similar, anything that's shimmery, shiny, sparkly, anything like that, you can use. One of the colours in my shimmery, sparkly set is like a burgundy red type of colour. So I'm just adding a few little bits onto the petals, not everywhere. You can do it however much you want, but I'm just adding it on in places just to make it shimmer and shine a little bit. I also added some green, sparkly green to it as well, because you have to. And I also added some sparkly yellowy gold to the centre of the petals as well. And then when you are happy with everything and you've completed all the steps, or however many steps you want, you can remove the masking tape really carefully, and then we can see, oh my goodness, it looks so nice. Doesn't that look so nice? Oh, look at this. Look at this tiny bit at the bottom that I've got. Let me show you in case you can't see it. Look. It's all perfect apart from this one dot. Right, there's only one thing for it. There's only one way to solve this. Can you guess? Splatter. Splatter just makes everything look so much better. It just completes it. Right, I've just recently cleaned my desk as well, my table, so I don't want splatter everywhere. And I don't want splatter on the centre of this page either, because I've got one more idea to show you. But that's two ideas there for you. I hope that all made sense to you, and I hope you really enjoyed that. I am just going to add a tiny bit of gold. You can let your imagination run wild. If you've got some really nice supplies, you've got gels or these markers or anything like that where you can do some tiny details, just add it on to your card. I don't know if the light is capturing this properly. This gold is just highlighting or making the red stand out more. So I've got one more idea for you, which I will probably show you next week. So I'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.